Boker Tov, Shavua Tov. We're continuing with the Halachot of Lashon Hara. We've been discussing at length the laws of Kabalat Lashon Hara, of accepting and believing Lashon Hara to be truth. And now we're in a few exceptions to the rule, a few categories, a few scenarios where you would be allowed to believe Lashon Hara, and we're in the category of Devarim Hanikarim, things, strong indications based on circumstantial evidence that it may be true. So we gave a few exceptions that although the concept exists, you have to give the benefit of the doubt when possible, a few other things as well. Now that the halacha continues, in the absence of any exceptions, one may rely on Devarim Hanikarim to believe the information that's being said. However, if there is no valid toilet involved, if there's no meaning to stay away from this offender until he repents, or any other reason, if there's no real reason why they're saying this over to you, one is not permitted to listen to Lashon Hara. In addition, by doing so, he is causing the speaker to transgress Lashon Hara, thus violating the Fnei Iver. So, for example, if it's not your business and it has nothing to do with you, and you hear about someone who did something inappropriate in business, doesn't affect you. You're never going to see him. You're never going to talk to him. You're going to come across his past. Then you can't believe it. It doesn't apply to you. It needs to be applicable. There needs to be some toilet involved for you. Halakha continues and says, one must be extremely careful to ascertain that the evidence he wishes to rely on is considered Devarim Hanikarim. The Chafetz Chaim goes out of his way to write an extra halakha saying that although this halakha is permitted, you have to be very careful that it's honest and it's truthful, and that what you're relying on is actually Devarim Hanikarim. Since the Yetzer Hara is very active in such cases and will try to convince a person that there is proof to back up the Lashon Hara. So the Chafetz Chaim cautions, within this halakha, be careful, your Yetzer Hara will try to trick you. Not everything you think falls into this category. And he brings an example on the bottom. An example given if someone was informed upon to the authorities and suffers significant damage. He suspects an individual based on Devarim Hanikarim and subsequently informs on his alleged perpetrator to retaliate against him. This is an error for many reasons. Why? This explanation only applies if by informing the informer, he will desist from such acts in the future, and only if there are no other ways to save oneself. Chafetz brings many other reasons. Then the halakha continues and says, even in a situation where one may be mekabel Lashon Hara based on the Devarim Hanikarim, he may not repeat it to others unless the subject is known in the city to be a rasha or for a toilet purpose. So again, another clause. Okay, all the conditions check off. Devarim Hanikarim, this is for sure a clear. There's clear evidence that this might be true, and there's a toilet. You can't repeat it unless there's a toilet or this person is known to be a rasha. For example, if telling others will help prevent the perpetrator from repeating his offense, it would then be mutar. Furthermore, one may never take any negative action, monetary or otherwise, against the subject based on this information. So again, you can accept it to be the truth, but you can't act upon it and actually cause harm to the subject financially or any other way, says the Chafetz Chaim, and he brings many examples in the footnotes, but we'll wrap up with here. Again, the category number 5 was Devarim Hanikarim. It's an exception to the rule, but you have to be very, very mindful when relying on this leniency to accept Lashon Hara. Chazak Baruch Nitzkei Mitzvot.